Hello, so this question is a shorter subarray with some LeetCode. So basically this is pretty straightforward definition, but it does take a little bit time to think about this. Alright, so the idea is return the length of the shortest non-empty subarray of nums with some of LeetCode, right? So first thing first, if you get a value which is equal to the value of k, then you are just basically return the length of itself, which is 1, right? And then if you cannot get a value, like if the sum does not less than k, then you will return -1. So if the value is actually equal to the k, which is sum, right, then you just return the length. So we have two conditions to think about this, right? So the first condition is what? If the value value at j minus value at I, which is greater or equal than k, right? We need to do something, right? And then the next one is what? If the current value, which is what, less than the value we store in the stack or array queue, right? So which is what, last value, something like this, right? Then we will just pull. So in this one we pull last because we don't need the last value anymore, because we know like current value is smaller, and then which is possibly have the smallest the length of the non-empty subarray, right? And then in this one that we know, we find out the value of at least k, right? Then we need to update, right? So update our result and also pull first. Right, so this is a little bit like difficult for sure, but I'm going to just try my best. So first thing is we need a sum array, right? And then basically I need to store the value, all the value for every single index, right, into the sum array, and the length of the sum array should be what? Equal to the num.length plus 1, right? So the first index is always 0 because there is no value which is at a 0 index, and the sum for the first index is going to be equal to the sum minus 1. So sum at I equal to sum at I minus 1 plus nums at I minus 1, and the for loop is going to be what? I equal to 1 to I less than sum.length, right? Because we already updated, right? So sum length, and then you increment, right? So we just keep adding. So in this one, this is going to be 2. The next value is going to be what? 2 plus -1, which is 1. 1 plus 2 is actually 3. And then this is pretty much the sum array, right? Then we're using this sum array and the deque queue, just ArrayDeque, to store the value. I'm going to store the index into the deque queue, and I'm going to either pull first or pull last, depending on the condition. And for every single for loop, I'm going to insert over last my index into the last one, so I can definitely know which one is which, right? So let's just start coding. And for the sum array, you are going to take long. This is because you might have the big value, right? So long sum equal to new long, and the length should be a num.length minus plus 1, right? And for I equal to 1, I less than sum.length I plus plus. And then sum at I equal to sum at I minus 1 plus num at I minus 1. Alright, so I need a ArrayDeque. I'm storing an integer. I'm gonna call deque equal to new ArrayDeque. And then I'm going to have a result. I'm going to initialize to the integer.maximum value. And I'm traversing the sum, right? for every single one of them, right, I need to offer last my value, my index value into the ArrayDeque, right? Alright, so the first condition is what? If the sum at I index minus sum at the ArrayDeque, which is the first one, the pick first, if this is greater or equal than k, we update the result and poll first. Alright, this is we pick first and poll first. This is because we always offer the index at the end. So whenever the first value in the ArrayDeque, which is going to be what? The value you already insert, which is q, right? I mean basically q. So first comes first serve, and then we know that length of the length of the sum I minus sum k, length of sum I minus sum pick first, which is greater or equal than k, which is because sum of at least k. Then we know, like we find out the length of the subarray, right? Then this is first condition. We update the result and then poll first, and then we poll first. This is because we don't need the index anymore, right? And the second condition is what? You update, I mean basically like you want to remove the last value in deque when the current sum value is less than the last sum value, something like this, right? This is because you don't actually need the big value anymore when you have the smallest value. Like we're taking the sum, right? And then we need to find out the shortest path, right? So while the ArrayDeque is not empty, this is going to be the first condition, right? And then the sum at I minus sum at deque.pick first. If this is greater or equal than k, right? I'm going to just split a little bit. Result equal to max.min, right? You need to return the minimum. This is going to be a result of I minus deque.poll first, right? So you need to return the minimum is because what? The shortest, right? And then you poll because we don't need the index anymore because we already calculated the length, right? Now you remove the last index if this is what? The last value is greater than the current value. So ArrayDeque is not empty. And also the sum at least.pick last. So I'm using a pick. If this is greater than sum at I, right? And also I need to take the equal sign. It doesn't matter like they are equal or not, right? So if they are equal, then I'm going to say this is deque, sorry, right? So I'm going to say deque.poll last, and when I return a value, right, I need to check if this is valid or invalid, right? Because if this is invalid, I need to return -1. So I'm going to just check, right? If the result is less than or equal to the num_stop length. If this is true, then I return the result. If this is not true, I return -1. This is because I initialize my value to the integer the maximum, right? And then this is it, right? So let me run it. Alright, so I have a mistake. So what is a mistake? So I spelled this wrong, right? DEQUE, right? Submit. Alright, so let's talk about the time and space. This is going to be a space, this is going to be a space. So the worst for the space complexity is all of n, right? You need to store every element into the ArrayDeque, right? And then the time, this is time, the for loop, and then the for loop. And then these two values doesn't matter, like you just like pretty much doing a constant stuff, like. So this one is going to be all of n. It doesn't matter that n+1, right? You get rid of the constant, all of n. for the first for loop, and the second for loop is still going to be olefin, right? And then the pull first, peak first, right? Peak last, pull last. This is constant. So and also the over last. This is constant. So the worst case for the time is olefin, space is olefin. So this is a solution, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.